liberty, and the pursuit of happiness stuff to protect their slave holdings. Independence from England, that was just a smokescreen.
What? Y'all, I'm not even going cap. I don't even know what the 1619 Project is. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I heard it in an Officer Tatum video where he was talking about Whoopi Goldberg and Ron DeSantis. He's like, the 1619 Project is not accurate or whatever the crap. And I was like, what is the 1619 Project? So, let's learn about it together. And yes, I am a college student.
Have you heard of the 1619 Project?
No.
It was published by the New York Times in August of 2019. It won the Pulitzer.
That's probably why I haven't heard of it. It came out in 2019. Like, bro, how did these random things just be dropping in 2019, bro? Like, I thought it came out like 200 years ago. This joint is brand new.
Prize for commentary in 2020. Its thesis: the United States was founded in 1619 when the first slave was brought to North America. Wait, that brings up some questions. What happened to 1776? To July 4th? The Declaration of Independence, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison. According to the 1619 Project, the Founding Fathers pushed for all that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness stuff to protect their slave holdings. Independence from England, that was just a smokescreen.
What? Oh my goodness, bro. Who be coming up with this stuff? Like, people will literally try to sit here and rewrite history to fit a narrative. Like, oh my goodness. No wonder I have never heard of this, because it's not true. You're going to sit here and try to literally rewrite history to fit your narrative? That is insane logic. That is insane. That is literally mental illness. Like, you're going to sit here and say, maybe we do have the pursuit of happiness. Maybe we do have liberty and freedom. Nah, I'm about to right click something. Not right click, 1619. Like, bro. If it was a movie or a Netflix series, I'd be like, you know what? 1619, that's lit. But this is like somebody actually thinks this to be true. That's insane.
To them, everything that's wrong with America is tied to her original sin of slavery, from segregation to traffic jams. Yes, traffic jams.
Traffic jams?
For the 1619 Project authors, racism is not a part of the American experience. It is the American experience. Is this true? Let's look at 3 of the project's major claims. 1. Preserving slavery was the real cause of the American Revolution. If you asked the founders why they no longer wanted to be a British colony, they would have given you a long list of reasons. Taxation without representation, conflicts over debts from the French and Indian War, and the Stamp Act would be just a few. Probably most important was the burning desire to be free, to chart their own destiny as a sovereign nation. Protecting slavery was not under threat from the British. In fact, Britain didn't free the slaves in its overseas colonies until 1833, 57 years later, after the Declaration of Independence.
So people just be sitting here just lying, bro. And this is why I can't trust nothing you see online. Don't trust nothing you see online, because they are literally just lying. I'm like, what is the 1619 Project? That's probably why I never heard of it. I'm like, what is this? But this is what it is. Somebody woke up one day, said, you know what? I'm tired of these traffic jams. They was probably in a car driving to work. It was traffic. They was like, you know what? I'm going to just make something up. Let's pick a random year. 1619, yeah. Traffic jams are because of racism from 1619. Declaration of Independence is cap. Like, bro, what type of insane behavior does it take to even think of something like this?
Yes, the subject of slavery was hotly debated at the Constitutional Convention. But that was after the war was won. 2. Slavery made America rich. Slavery made some Americans rich, true enough. Eli Yale, for example, made a fortune in the slave trade. He donated money and land for the university that is named after him. But the institution of slavery didn't make America rich. In fact, the slave system badly slowed the economic development of half the country.
Really?
As economist Thomas Sowell points out, in 1860, just 1 year before the Civil War began, the South had only 1/6 as many factories as the North. Almost 90% of the country's skilled, well-paid laborers and professionals were based in the North.
Information like this feels kind of like illegal to know. Like, I feel like when you start learning stuff about this, You know a little too much about history. Because when you start learning stuff like this, it's like certain narratives that are pushed on you just don't even make a lot of sense anymore. Like this is a little too much, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. This is a little too much. No one should just know this information. Because if you ever say this out loud, you'll probably get verbally attacked. I'm not even gonna hold you. Because now that you really think about it, some of the, I guess, richest states are in the north. Like, you talking about New York, Maine, places like that. Dang. Wow.
Banking, railroads, manufacturing, all were concentrated in the north. The South was an economic backwater. And the cost of abolishing slavery was enormous, not merely in terms of dollars, Lincoln borrowed billions to pay for it, but also in terms of human life. 360,000 Union soldiers died in order to free 4 million slaves. That works out to about 1 soldier in blue for every 10 slaves freed. It's hard to look at that butcher's bill and conclude that the nation turned a profit from slavery. And many things have happened since 1865. In the almost 200 years since the Civil War, the population of the country has grown almost 900%, and our national GDP has increased 12,000%. Slavery did not make America rich. 3.
Bro, this feels illegal to know, bro. Since the Civil War, the population grew 900%, and the GDP grew 12,000%. But bro, what you're taught, from the perspective you're taught from, you're taught that slavery is like the root cause holding you down. Bruh, this is, and y'all probably watching this like, oh, you fake. Like, bro, this is so shocking to me because it's like every time I do one of these videos, it's like a whole culture shock. Like, this doesn't really, it's like it can't register in my head almost. Like, I'm having a hard time registering all this to be true, if I'm being honest.
1,000%. Slavery did not make America rich. 3. Racism is an unchangeable part of America. This argument is more philosophical than scholarly, but it undergirds the entire 1619 Project. It's also pernicious because it suggests that the United States is an inherently racist country that can't overcome its flaws. Yet that's exactly what it's done. Today, America is the most successful multiracial country in history, the only white majority country to elect a black president twice.
And that's actually one thing I be saying. Like, when people have these stances that America is like inherently racist, it will never overcome its flaws. My question is, what are you comparing America to? Like, what countries ever in history are you comparing America to? Because if we being 100, it's probably the least racist country that we have on this earth. Like, I'm not even trying to be like ironic, bro. But what are you comparing it to? Russia? Or like what comparison are you doing? Don't say, bro. My thing is, like, where are you comparing it to? Probably, are you comparing it to like an African country, one of the countries that literally sold us here? Like, what is the comparison? And another question I have is, why would you even make something like 1619 if you believe that America is always and will forever be inherently racist? It's like a losing battle. If you genuinely believe that, why even make something like 1619? Because if you think the country will never change, then what's the point of even making this? It's a losing battle. It's no point in making this. You might as well just call it a wrap. Like, just be like, you know what? This country sucks. I'm leaving. But you wrote that anyway. It's like you want to make money or get fame from it, but you're kind of just contradicting yourself. I don't know, man. It just makes no sense to me.
Of course, progress has not always been smooth. There have been terrible setbacks. But to compare American attitudes about race today to America 100 years ago, let alone to 1619, is absurd. Here's a fact that should be better known. 2 million black Africans have come to America as legal immigrants from countries like Nigeria in the last 50 years and have become one of the most successful groups in the country. Why would these folks move to what is often called an evil, racist country? Because unlike many people lucky enough to be born here, they know that America is a land of opportunity for everyone.
That's facts, bro. Like, people who keep pushing this narrative, bro, they're just a little delusional. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, you have to have a certain level of delusion to really sit here and even say stuff like this. You really do have to have a certain level of delusion, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, to even act like America is the worst, like, you are delusional. You're delusional.
It's also only fair to note that while blacks have heroically fought for our rights, often against great odds, we haven't done it alone. A vast number of decent whites have also advanced the cause of racial equality. To cite one of countless examples, the U.S. Senate that passed the landmark Civil Rights Act in 1964 contained 98 whites and 2 men of color, and they were Asian. The great black leaders of the past, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King.
It was crazy. If Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass were like here today, they'd probably be considered like on the wrong side of history, which is the craziest thing ever. Some of the greatest speakers of all time, greatest role models of all time, black leaders of the past would be literally considered on the wrong side of history today, which is insane when you really think about it.
Never lost faith in America's promise that all people are created equal. None of them believed that racism was America's defining characteristic. They were right. Shortly after the 1619 Project was published, a group of distinguished historians, almost all on the left, wrote a public letter condemning the work. They called it a displacement of historical understanding by ideology. They were right too. I'm Wilfred Riley, Associate Professor of Political Science at Kentucky State University for Prager University.
Yeah, like whoever wrote that, you have to be a little delusional. I don't even know why people will let you publish that. That is an insane thing to even publish. And the fact that you were even able to publish something like that, denouncing your own country, that alone shows you how free America is. Because try something like that in North Korea. See, the police will be at your door the second you press send. The second you even open up a doc to type something like that, they already monitoring your screens. Like, it's raps for you. So the fact that you even are able to write something like that kind of shows you that your anger is a little misplaced. But anyways, if you have any suggestions for me, comment down below.